Think of Miami. I'm sure you're probably picturing beaches, bottle service, and at least one person making a terrible financial decision in a rented Lamborghini. But what you're probably not thinking about is soul food. As someone who grew up in South Florida, I've always known there's a more seasoned side of Miami. I'll be giving you a glimpse into historic Miami culture as I visit 3 soul food spots throughout the city. And because I enjoy making my life just that much harder, I'll also be judging each place by the most important dish, yes, the most important dish, in the soul food cuisine, the mac and cheese, while also being very lactose intolerant. So, this will be fun. Let's roll! For our first stop, we'll be jamming out at Trick Daddy's Sunday Eatery. If you know anything about Southern hip-hop, you know that Trick Daddy truly is the daddy of the Miami rap scene. In the late 1990s to early 2000s, when hip-hop was emerging as a dominating genre, Trick Daddy, born Maurice Young, got busy placing the Miami rap scene on the map with hits like Nah, featuring another Miami trailblazer Trina, and I'm a Thug. Trick Daddy's influence would help pave the way for more breakout Miami rappers like the City Girls, Kodak Black, and Rick Ross. So I'm currently outside of Trick Daddy's Sunday Eatery, and I'm excited to see if his raw and gritty lyrics match his cuisine. Inside Sunday's Eatery, there's absolutely no mistaking that this is Trick Daddy's kitchen. Mr. Trick's hit records sit high on the wall, a couple flat-screen TVs play his popular YouTube cooking series,
I got my pots.
And also, for this particular visit, Trick Daddy himself is behind the counter.
You know, people would come up to him and ask him for pictures, and he was very kind about it. Yeah, so I did like that he was interacting with the community within his restaurant. I think sometimes with celebrities, they open up restaurants and then you never see them anywhere near the place. So that was a very positive sign for me.
Now, I did not film him because I don't believe in sticking a camera in people's faces without their permission, and to be frank, I'm awkward as all hell. So, yeah. My delectables came in black Air Force to-go plates, pushing convenience to the forefront. My lustfulness glazed over my order of fried chicken wings with a side of seasoned yellow rice, cornbread, candied yams, and of course the queen, mac and cheese, with Mr. Trick's signature blue lemonade. Now, to get right into it, the fried chicken wings, bomb. Definitely one of the best items on the plate. Fantastically seasoned, well breaded, and just the right amount of crisp. The cornbread was fairly dry and fell apart easily, but it had a nice tang of sweetness that gave it a flavorful kick. The yellow seasoned rice strongly reminded me of African jollof rice. I think the red tinge with the slight tanginess of a possible tomato base gave me that jollof vibe. Regardless, it was tasty and paired well with the fried chicken wings. Candied yams, super sweet, super tender, just how I like it. Definitely more on the watery side, but I don't mind watery yams, so that might be more of a personal preference. And the blue lemonade, well... Now, for the ultimate judge of this meal, the mac and cheese. I will be rating each mac and cheese based on looks, seasoning, texture, and soul for a final score between 1 through 5. So for Sunday Eatery's mac, the look was decent. It wasn't wow, but I can still tell that it's mac and cheese. For the seasoning, to be honest, I didn't taste much seasoning. It was definitely cheesy, but that's about it. Texture, I do think the texture was done well. The pasta was al dente and the cheese was consistent in goop, so not bad at all. And for soul, well, I definitely felt the I'm a thug spirit coming through. For my overall score of this mac and cheese, I'd give it a 2.7 out of 5. Wasn't quite a 3, but for sure wasn't a 2, so I'm not mad at it. That was a super strong opening, and I'm excited to see what else we'll get into, but I'm not too sure if my stomach feels the same. Either way,
on to our next spot.
For our next conquest, we'll be stopping at the world famous House of Mac. Now, this spot is owned by Derek Turton, who for over a decade was the former music manager for one of Miami's hottest artists to date, Pitbull, aka Mr. Worldwide himself. In 2013, after Turton's father passed away, he decided to step away from the music scene and continue his legacy as a mac and cheese master through opening the world famous House of Mac.
So we are currently at the world famous House of Mac, and we are going to test and see if they truly are the king of mac and cheese in Miami.
Upon entrance, I am greeted by a large-scale textured painting with a magnificent afro fully picked to the heavens. The paintings became all the more significant with the knowledge that to honor his father, Turton decided to make his dad's afro a part of the eatery's logo. Turton's musical background is on full display throughout the restaurant, as similar to Trick Daddy, he has plaques of hits from various different artists he's worked with throughout his musical career. I sat down at a spacious round table with plenty of sunlight washing the hell out of me, and ordered Auntie Joe's homemade sorrel with the world-famous 5-cheese mac and cheese. The service was super fast. Within about 10 minutes of sitting down, my heavenly mac and cheese was on full display for me to dig into. Quick side note, mac and cheese was actually made popular in America by a slave named James Hemings. In 1789, after becoming the first American to be classically trained as a chef in France, Hemings would come back to America with his enslaver, Thomas Jefferson, with a new cuisine in hand, macaroni pie. Hemings' culinary experience would transform the European recipe into the creamy baked staple we know today as mac and cheese. Now, back to this bowl of memory foam level comfort food. One look at this perfectly crisp top crust let me know Mr. Turton did not come to play. Once I broke past that crunchy top and scooped hold of that goobery goodness, my life changed. Not to be dramatic, but this honestly is the top 3 best mac and cheese dishes I've ever had in my entire life. To break down this unforgettable meal, let's break out my handy dandy mac and cheese rating system. Looks. The crust with Parmesan crumble was impeccable, and the placing of the mac in a heavy black iron skillet truly showcased just how much weight this dish carries. Seasoning, just right. The cheese was not overpowering, the spices blended well, and the entire plate truly worked together on this group project. Now for the texture. For me, it was probably the best thing about this dish. The creaminess of the mac paired with the crunchy top made the whole dish pop in a way I rarely experience with mac and cheese. And for the soul, well, I did feel like breaking out into the Kirk Franklin stomp mid-chew. So for this mac and cheese, I give it a 4.8 out of 5. Now, with all that being said, we still have one more restaurant to go, so let's see if there's even stronger flavors ahead.
I did not take into account the fact that I would not be able to eat multiple meals of mac and cheese. I will tell you, the mac and cheese lactose intolerance is truly at its peak. I've had to use the bathroom at least 3 times.
For our grand finale, we're heading into a city once called the Harlem of the South, the historically black Miami neighborhood known as Overtown. Now, while segregation was still legally enforced in Miami, black artists like Ella Fitzgerald, Josephine Baker, and Nat King Cole would oftentimes headline shows in Miami Beach, but afterwards were forced to eat, sleep, and socialize in the city of Overtown. During the 1940s and 50s, Overtown would be the center of black Miami nightlife, as black businesses and culture would boom until the construction of I-95 running straight through the area displaced thousands of black residents. Red Rooster Overtown sits right in the center of this historical city in a building that used to be Clyde Killings Pool Hall. Clyde Killings Pool Hall was a renowned high-class 1950s social club that became a popular hangout spot for people like Muhammad Ali, Aretha Franklin, and Sam Cooke. World-renowned celebrity chef and restaurateur Marcus Samuelson opened Red Rooster Overtown specifically for celebrating the roots of American cuisine and the diverse culinary traditions of the neighborhood.
So I'm currently outside of Red Rooster Overtown. Let's see if Red Rooster Overtown can showcase the skills of the renowned chef.
When I stepped inside Red Rooster Overtown, I instantly felt like I was visiting a Black History museum. The walls and shelves of the eatery are adorned with black art pieces, references to famed musical artists and black celebrities, books about black history, Afrocentric sculptures, and so much more. And of course, the piece that caught my eye the most, as it serves as such a huge inspiration for the creation of this channel, was a blown-up print of the Miami page in the legendary Green Book. I sat at the bar for happy hour as there weren't many in the restaurant yet since I got there right as it opened at 5. I ordered the Mason Cooler for my drink, a non-alcoholic beverage mixed with strawberry, blueberry, fresh mint, and Mason Pierre sparkling water. Now I will say this was one of the better drinks I sipped on throughout the whole day. For my non-drinking girlies like myself that want to feel grown while keeping it cute, I definitely recommend it. But while I placed the order for my last conquest, I heard a growl beckoning me to a duel for the throne. The toilet throne, that is.
And one of my secrets is, if you go into a restaurant bathroom and the bathroom matches the vibe of the restaurant, it's clean and it's well decorated, such as this bathroom, that's how you know they actually care about truly making sure that the experience is amazing from start to finish.
Once I returned back from my battle, I got my second set of weapons, a fork and spoon. and began the showdown with my Red Rooster Overtown meal. For the first half of my meal, I munched on flavorful and crispy conch fritters, which, in combination with my refreshing drink, was an absolute delight. The fritters were perfectly conch with the meat of this little seafood pocket warming me up from my toes to my head. It also had two sauces, one being calypso sauce and the next a green sauce that was not named on the menu, but was pretty tasty regardless. Now, for the second half of my feast, the Towner's mac and cheese. Now, this was definitely what I would consider a buttery delight. Now, I'll give you more context with our mac and cheese rating system. Looks-wise, Red Rooster did not disappoint. They do provide an upscale dining experience, so looks are always important in spaces like this. The crumble of the Parmesan cheese with the spiraling noodles beneath it shooting out with delicious excitement, great presentation. For the seasoning, it was super seasoned with a hint of spice, but not too much. Where it seemed to lean heavily on was the butter. This buttery flavoring didn't work against it though. It just gave it more of a smooth taste. Now, the flavor, I did enjoy it quite a bit. I think the combination of the buttery smooth noodles with the melted cheddar cheese worked hand in hand. And for the soul, well, Aretha Franklin couldn't have sung the deliciousness of this dish any better. Final score for this mac, 3.5 out of 5. Bringing our finale of mac and cheese wars with World House of Mac winning gold, Red Rooster Overtown grabbing silver, and Trick Daddy's Sunday Eatery pulling in a strong bronze. Food tours like this always remind me that there are numerous ways a city's story can be told, and Miami is no different.
I'll say this, it truly has made me double down on the idea that highlighting minority voices within business spaces, within cultures, within cities, is never a mistake.
Hope you guys had fun while learning something new. Stay safe, stay smart, and happy travels.